Hi, welcome to my new channel, Kavindu Political Times. This show is all about politics around the world. It's not politics about one country, one agenda, and nothing else. It's about everything around the world, my views about it. And myself, I'll announce myself first. I shall not support anyone, fully support, or I'm not a supporter of a single party. I support anybody, any political party who does the right thing. So let's get off the show. Now on this show today, on my first episode, on my debut show, not my debut, I already have another channel, so I like to say my Cajun Enthusiast show, so please join me on that show as well. Now, let's get one thing straight. Now, I'm going to talk with the most hotly contested topic in world politics. It's a powerhouse who influences the world, round the world, there is no question about it. One of the two most powerhouses in the world right now who are having a geopolitical battle among themselves. It's not China, my friend, it's the United States. But I shall not talk about the US-China war, that comes in a complete different title. Because I call it a war because these two countries are two strong-willed countries with two strong opinions on their side. You got two powerful political leaders in the two countries with an undocumented amount of power in their sight. So let's start off with the show. Now, first episode, to decide the next person in power, you have to see who is coming in next in power. In China, there is no elections. It's a communist party election system, which I think means we all know how it works. In the United States, there is still free elections, despite the actions in the last 5, 6 or years have shown less of democracy, more of slight controversy. But again, why should you blame the sitting president for his actions when the predecessors certainly had their fair share of work to do? Now, today I'm going to talk about the topic is who wins the US presidential election. Now, this is a very interesting topic. We are dealing with two candidates. One is a very orthodox, traditional political candidate who has the credentials to be the president of the United States. Joe Biden, he was the vice president of the United States under Barack Obama. And then other side of the coin, you have Donald Trump, which an extremely successful businessman, has earned his fortune through hard work and tremendous impeccable reputation when it comes to business and success. So two people with different backgrounds. But here's the thing, if this show was done 5 years ago, I would have said Mr. Honorable Donald Trump would have had no chance of even winning the election. Compared to Hillary Clinton, how could he won? But that's what I like about the current US president. He won against the odds. He won against the establishment. He changed what we thought about the establishment. But this is the reality of life. I want to bring politics into real life in a scenario. A man can bring change how we think, but how a man executes is also important. But it's not might be his fault. He might be a little bit puzzled about what's happening around. I guess it's not easy for anyone to be the president of a country like the United States. You walk into the White House and you suddenly think, oh my God, what am I seeing here? It's not easy for anyone to be president of any country. Let me put it this way. When President Barack Obama came into power after George W. Bush, it wasn't easy run for Barack Obama to be president and change the things. He had a crumbling economy. There was in the United States that was going down. People were struggling. Pockets were getting emptied. Economies were going down. And you can imagine what it might have been for President Barack Obama in a rather strange way. And he also promised he will get his troops out of Iraq and Afghanistan as well. Now, let's get one picture straight. Barack Obama is a very interesting US president for me. I actually like his presidency. I think in his terms of 2 years, he kept his promises. He pulled the US troops out. He kept the soldiers' families. He kept them happy by keeping the promise. But however, there's only one part of the question I do question President Barack Obama's opinion about pulling troops. If the United States entered war so long ago, knowing the dangers of entering the Middle East with war, can you leave the Middle East unguarded? You really can't, can you? But unfortunately, you can't blame the former US president for leaving Iraq and Afghanistan because we lost so much soldiers and so much blood among all of these things. So there had to be an end game. How long we're going to fix other people's messes or if we fix ourselves? Now President Obama, things were tough. He had an economy that was crumbled, as I mentioned. So as we all know, he fixed the economy, he got his economy completely up to mark, and which now we have a US economy that's extremely brilliant and strong because of President Obama's economical policies in his first 2 terms, which he did magnificently. but is also the first ever black American president, first ever African American US president. That is an extreme honor and a title to have. It never happens in the United States. Now, of course, right now in the upcoming elections, it's not African American. There is no minority participating. These are two old white politicians. One is a not a politician. One is a person against the establishment. One is part of the establishment. Now, of course, we are living in a world where we got COVID-19, world where extreme concerns, but there's hope around the world, which I talk about. Join me on that episode as well, on that how should countries comply with these things. And now let's get to the last election in 2015. We all saw how Donald Trump won the elections with a very convincing margin over Hillary Clinton. But however, people keep forgetting a one crucial factor in that election, the popular vote. Hillary Clinton did win the popular vote in the presidential election. So what does that sound? Now, I may be old-fashioned, but I believe when a presidential candidate wins, I think he must clean sweep the full electoral vote. I think he should clean sweep all. But Donald Trump was an outsider coming into the election. He wasn't, sort of a political establishment. So for him to win, he used his whatever he had in his armory. He used his fame, success, his image. And I have to say, I never seen such a courageous campaign that took bold risks to win. He challenged the most amount of organized thoughts about the United States we had as people. Maybe they are controversial, maybe they are not true, maybe he is not the finest president we have at this pre-existing moment, but I can't judge his presidential actions. As people, I can give opinion, but it's the people who you vote are the key deciders of his actions and say, is he right or is he wrong? That depends on that, because I can keep saying he's not good, he's not right, he's fantastic, but it's not my position to say another man's actions. But I can give you my point of view about things. But it's your point in the election to say whether he's right or wrong, because it's not my point of view. Now, of course, as I said, Hillary Clinton won the popular vote in 2015 election, but Donald Trump won. That's what counts. The real electoral winner was President Trump. Now, I thought as he won the election, he might bring changes. I thought the corporate world will get more tax benefits and etc. So far, no tax bills have been really approved yet, has it? Not quite has been achieved, but he has done other things like attempt to build a wall. I don't know how that goes with people. Me personally, I am not supportive of that, but I guess there are plenty of people who supports it. So I'm not going to say anyone's opinion is wrong or bad, because that's not my side to say, because it's a free world, it's called democracy. Anyone can think what they want. But let me tell you about something though. For all free thinkers, this is important thought though. But building a wall in the United States border is like restricting what could possibly be a place for world peace. At least that's what main political documentaries would say. But for me, that's the only thing the United States can do as a part of humanitarian side for the world. Now, the United States have made tough decisions throughout its political history. Like putting a nuclear bomb in Hiroshima. President Truman made a tough decision. He made a tough call by putting a nuclear bomb in Hiroshima, Japan. It forever will be in his legacy as a risky decision. Forever people will quote his decision. But Donald Trump is a very cheerful politician. I often say he puts a great show. I can tell you something. I always say this. It's good to be known than unknown. That's his policy, I guess, and I totally agree with that policy. It's good to be controversial. It's good to be known. It's good to have controversy. But I guess he doesn't have the control to control the controversy he put forward, but he will learn. He doesn't have to learn. He knows he's a businessman. He's a successful businessman. I guess he knows what control means. And he's not the only president who made wild comments in the past. Let's not get carried away. But I agree with other side of the people who says he has not been the president this country wanted him to be. He hasn't kept the rights of the minorities at the moment. He hasn't done that. Yes, maybe he hasn't done that yet, but then it's how the world works. Some people support, some people don't. But again, if you people knew he weren't supporting, why did you vote him 5 years ago? Why did you vote for him 5 years ago if you knew he was saying Mexicans are rapists and all that? Why did you vote if you knew he was wrong? And that's why I always say, don't blame the man in the world of politics. In free democracy, blame the people. Look, politicians will tell you all the promises in the world. They will tell you, I will change that, I will change that and that and that. But as people, you got to be rationalized on what you are thinking is going to happen and what will not happen. You have to say what this man does and what won't that person that won't does. But of course, now we talk about Donald Trump. He's a man with many characters, man with many controversial, spicy history with him. Dan Stormiers, etc. All that kind of stuff. Exciting man. I love a very good controversial president. It keeps me going. It keeps this job rather interesting actually. But let's talk about our opponent for Donald Trump. At least the opponent. Joe Biden. A man in true stature. A man who was once the vice president. A man who's been in the White House many occasions. A man who is a Democrat from blood. No questions about Joe Biden. A man who so far has stayed clean from the methods of President Trump. Now I might talk rather differently on this because now I'm going to talk from the Joe Biden scam perspective. He hasn't been third class approach of Donald Trump. No, he hasn't. He's been classy. He's been brassy. He's been clever. He has worn masks in public to say he supports the health guidelines. Great. That's the side of the Biden campaign. But from the Trump campaign, it's called non-patriotic in a rather way to wear a mask. But Joe Biden seemed to be focused on policy and what he wants to bring updates and changes to the country, what he believes in. But of course, it never signified and count really, never really signifies and count really on what things. But for me, these two people are always connected in a crazy way. You can call me I am crazy on this, but once in lifetime, these people have met somewhere in their lives. They are politicians and businessmen. They meet somewhere. They know each other. They have to know each other. So I'm not into this philosophy that they don't know each other at all. That is a wrong call. Politicians know businessmen. That's the reality. But I must say, Joe Biden is one of the vice presidents I've seen in recent times and a fair influence on things. So I'm not going to rush off the bungee on that one, bungee jumping on that one. But of course, on the election basis, it seems that the winner of the election is judged for me on three factors. Coronavirus, number two, Black Lives Matter movement, and third, it's about the overall picture of the people, what they want. Now, after 5 years of President Trump's term, we have faced strikes, riots, and we have faced the craze of human rights have come again. Black Lives Matter. Now, I believe Black Lives Matter as well. I do support the Black Lives Matter movement. No problem about it. Question is, does all those three factors count in the election? My answer is yes, it counts. But not the same way. Donald Trump is unorthodox as a politician. He's an unorthodox politician. He convinces you to believe in him. Even if you might be a little suspicious. But he's someone different. What's the problem with someone different thinking? But after 5 years, I'm going to ask the people of the United States a very important question. Have you had enough? Or do you want more? Now the second cause is the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, I'm going to say this. Around the world, countries are wearing masks. In Hong Kong, people are wearing masks, helping the cause and etc. In the UK, they are looking at vaccines and they are looking at major progress. I call progress because this is my political voice. In a realistic one, I would not say so progress, but you get my point. United States, though, on the other hand, is having a complete different machete. United States, no one wear masks, no one actually cares about the guidelines, and the moment the restrictions were off, they went to the beach. How convenient is it to go to the beach? Fine, go to the beach. No social distancing, no masks. And why? Because United States builds on political patriotism. And for many people, I guess, wearing a mask is not patriotic. It's a